8:30, and thanks very much for joining me for my vineyard ramble. This morning I've brought you up to one of my favourite places. This is high above the little village of Paziols. So just so you can situate you, here I'm standing on a pile of stones. In the background is Tuchan. And to this side is Paziols. Here I am above the little village of Tuchan. We have Paziols in the background. I'm literally on the border with Languedoc-Roussillon here. So this is the border of Languedoc-Roussillon. Here we have Languedoc. I'm going to pan round slowly because the connection is not too great this morning. And over here, this is the Roussillon. So we're about 5 kilometres from the Roussillon border. It's about 11 degrees here this morning. As you can probably hear, there's no wind at all. I do like the north wind, it helps the vines, but that's fine for today. It's lovely for doing the video, it's so calm. And as you can see, I'm standing on a pile of stones. Now these stones here are known as pudding stones. So I'm in a vineyard. It's a bit different, this vineyard this morning. It's actually got lots of stones. They're rounded stones called poudang. Locally, and pudding stones, and they were formed with the glaciers. And these literally, this big pile here, have come out of this vineyard here. So let's go and have a look at this vineyard down here. Let's see if we can see what grape it is, or you can tell me what grape variety it is. Morning, Diane. Actually drove all the way here with the handbrake on, but not a good start. And walking down a little path. Here, for those of you new to joining us, know what this is? Smells lovely. Hi Vivian. So we have, anybody going to get in with the herb here? And then coming down here, more herbs, just growing wildly. So we have thyme, rosemary, Kaja, yes you got it, rosemary. So we've got wild rosemary, wild thyme. Just coming down a little stony path, more rosemary here. Just take in that view. Okay, off we go down here, down the steep. Quick look at the terroir here. So these are the pudding stones on the surface, and I'm going to take you, this is the vineyard I was just standing above. So I'm going to take you, ooh, look at these stones. You see, they're just on the surface. So a lot of the time is spent picking up these stones and putting them on the side. So you can see this little vineyard has got a lovely stone wall all the way around it. And that's literally from the stones that have been taken out from here. So, morning vines. Here we are in one of my little parcels. This is actually one of my favourite little parcels, probably because of the view. Are we in Wales again, Julia? Yeah, no, actually it's quite warm. It's about 12 degrees here, nothing like Wales this morning. And here we're in this little tiny vineyard. Now, let's have a look at this vine. I know those of you who've been following me, we're getting quite good at spotting the grape variety. So these are 70-year-old vines. That it's very tiny leaves, so quite difficult to tell. But we've got, it's not that many lobes. It's quite rounded. And here is the clue again. Okay. Now this is a red grape variety, and on the back we've got a layer of like down. You see that? On the back of the leaves. So now, does anybody have an idea what that grape variety is? So we're up here. It's a red grape variety, and it has hairy leaves. So I'll leave that one with you. As we just walk up here, it's just it's such a fabulous morning. Hairy Grenache, Sandra Sperry. Excellent. Okay, so brilliant. This is a hairy Grenache, or the real name for that is the Lledoner. Yeah, Hamish, you got the real name for it, which is Lledoner Pelut. So I'm standing in a Lledoner Pelut vineyard. Lledoner Pelut is similar to Grenache in style. So the style of wine it makes is similar to Grenache, very fruity. It's a little drier, so it makes a lovely, soft, silky and fruity style of wine. Now, I had problems making my hairy Grenache for the first couple of years because I just treated it like any other grape that we make wine from in the winery. And we were doing a 10-day maceration on the wine. It was fine, but it was quite tannic. There wasn't much fruit to it. And then we realised that actually, if you just do a very short maceration, so we then did a really short maceration, just 4 days on the skins, and it meant that we retained all of the fruit in the wine and just lovely silky tannins. So now it's a very short maceration, just 4 days that we keep the skins in with the juice, and we get a lovely perfumed wine. I don't know if any of you have tried my hairy Grenache, but if you have tried, it's probably a little bit early to be sipping it at the moment, but this is the vineyard that it comes from. Hear those birds. In the background here you can see the Tuchan mountain. This is the highest spot in this area. This rises up to 900 meters. It's quite a hike up there. You can actually drive up there. It's a little tiny, or some people actually cycle. I know my sister's cycled up there. Mad. Yeah, that's right, Marcel, who's been following us. They look very small, don't they? The leaves are not as developed as the vineyard we were in yesterday. They actually look quite tiny. No, the reason would be we pruned this really late. So this was one of our last vineyards to be pruned. And we pruned this probably end of March, beginning of April even. And that's why the leaves haven't developed as much, so just smaller. Awesome wine. Thanks, Hamish. He's saying it's the hairy Grenache, and it's perfect for the warm weather. Yeah, fantastic. Thanks. It's great with a barbecue, actually. I don't know what you would drink it with, Hamish, the hairy Grenache, but this is the vineyard it comes from. So just one, you can actually see the grapes here just forming. And one thing I am looking out for, I don't know if you realise, but we did have quite a big hailstorm here in Tuchan Paziols a couple of nights ago. So as I go around the vines, I'm looking to see if there's any damage from hail. Here there isn't. I mean, it's quite, if you have hail damage, literally it can shred the leaves and you would find the leaves on the floor. So we've this vineyard, absolutely no problem on that. Stan wants to know the grapes are ready for wants to know the grapes are ready for picking. Okay, so these grapes, there's obviously these little tiny ones, not quite ready for picking there, Stan. Can you see that? But these will be ready. We'll pick these in late September. And we pick everything by hand, obviously, because you can see here, it's just really rocky and very difficult to get any machines in actual fact. So this little area of vines here, one of my favourites, because there's 5 little tiny plots that sort of go around this hill. So we've just seen the hairy Grenache, and then we're coming into the second plot here. Just taking that view again. So the view down over the valley, and you've got the Aguila Castle in the background. That's one of the Cathar castles. We come into this vineyard. Now, for those of you who were here yesterday, you've probably already spotted the occasional Macabeu vine in this vineyard. So here's a Macabeu, as Marcel said, a lot less developed than yesterday because we pruned it, but very light, pale coloured leaves, almost pastel. Yeah, so a question, Hamish, do these stones help reflect sunlight and help ripen? They do. But we don't really have a problem with ripening and the heat, in actual fact, up here. But they would have the same effect as in Châteauneuf-du-Pape, for example. But it's a similar idea. So we've just been, this is the Macabeu. So Macabeu we talked about yesterday, lovely white wine, quite unusual here. But it's actually mixed up with another grape variety. Here So here we are, another grape variety here. So because these are so old, these are like 70 years old, the grape varieties are just a little bit mixed up together. So here we can see we've got it's actually quite a smooth leaf, not as indented as the Carignan. So here's Grenache. So this is actually mixed Grenache and Macabeu. And we're just taking in this wonderful view up here this morning as I ramble through these little vineyards. Now this is a vineyard that Jean-Marc, when I actually somebody told me a couple of years ago, oh, we've got this great vineyard that I think it would suit you up here above the village of Paziols. And I came up one lunchtime and had a look at it, and I just completely fell in love with it. I mean, how can you not fall in love with this view, basically, and these lovely old vines? And I rushed home at lunchtime and I said to Jean-Marc, look, I found the most fabulous vines. They're absolutely beautiful. And Jean-Marc said, okay, let's go and have a look. We came up here. I was so excited, and he looked at them and he just went, no way, Katie. And I was like, what? And he's like, no way. You can't imagine how hard these are to work, how expensive it's going to be to do everything by hand. You can't get the tractor in. How are you going to pick them? And he said, no. So I was like, oh. And I went, okay, it's all right. I'll do all the work. That's my usual reply. And in the end, I said, okay, right, you're right. Let's not go for it. And I phoned the owner and she said, I've got some other ones you can look at. So we went to look at those. They were better, a bit more accessible. And we were going to buy those. And then she phoned back that evening. She said, okay, if you buy those other vines, I'll give you these vines free. So these vines were almost given to us as part of a parcel because of the hard work that there is in these vineyards. So Jean-Marc, unfortunately, had to work these vines. But I mean, I don't regret it for a day, just with that view. You just need to come up here and look at the view. I just looked through some of your questions. There's a question. Do you pick both varieties at the same time? Yeah, because I was just saying that it's a mixture here of Macabeu and Grenache. So no, we don't. Because we hand pick everything, it means we can come in at different times, and we come in twice. So we'll pick the whites first, the Macabeu, and then we come in and we'd pick the Grenache. Hey, you're still married, so it worked. Exactly, Grumpy Amazon. We are still married, very much so, and we just complement each other, I think. So we're very much married, and yes, it worked. And today we're making fabulous wines from these little old plots of vines. Okay, I think let's have a quick question before I leave you, because 15 minutes time is up. I hope you've enjoyed it. So for those of you who'd like to win a sachet of dried organic rosemary herbs from my vineyard, I'm going to zoom in on one of the grape varieties that we've been talking about this morning, and the first person to tell me which grape this is, it's going to be a white grape. Just put it up on the screen. Here we go. Little clue, pastel coloured leaves. So if you get this, you're doing really well, because the leaves are so tiny here. But it makes a white wine. Macabeu, well done, Marcel. So some dried herbs on their way to you. So just one last look at that amazing view. Over those rocks there is the Mediterranean. That's about an hour away. If we pan round, we have Narbonne about an hour away in that direction, behind the village of Tuchan, you can just see here. And then we have the imposing Toche mountain rising up to 900 meters here. Sometimes people say to me, how do you live down here? I mean, I've been here for 25 years, and some people sort of say, why? You're in the middle of nowhere, and this is why. Okay, that's it from me, signing off. I hope you've enjoyed it, our little ramble in the vineyard this morning. And time for me to get back up here through the pudding stones and find my little Diane car to take me back to my winery. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Hope to see you again tomorrow, and hope that's just given you a lovely breath of southern French air to get you going this morning. It's just up the hill, through the wild, and there's my little car waiting for me. Please join me again tomorrow, same time, different place.